Good evening. Good evening. You can do better than that. All right. Well, it's a real honor to be here. We were very glad on the City Council of Charlottesville to support TomTom this year. And I'll just begin by saying that I think in a generation or two, one word that people will come up with when they're asked to summarize this incredible time we're in is resistance. But while resistance is an energizing and dynamic idea, it can also feel a little negative. Going forward, the question will not always be what we're against, it's going to be what we're for. And the fact is that we're living in an era of great change, where waves of disruption are sweeping across our nation and cities like Charlottesville. We're seeing this change in technology, from driverless cars to cancer-fighting technology to bots and to drones. We're seeing it in demographics. We will soon be a majority-minority country. We have countless immigrant populations, and we're proud to have them. And we remain the refuge for refugees fleeing tyranny in their home countries, including here in Charlottesville. We're seeing it in culture. Just a couple of years ago, gay marriage was still illegal in this state and in many places around the country. Meanwhile, companies like Netflix are reinventing culture, and new arts and entertainment models are sweeping the globe and are mystifying our elders and me. And we're seeing this change in our economy itself, where millions of Americans are making their living now from so-called gig jobs. Globalization is moving even knowledge jobs to other countries. I had an incredible experience. I'm the general counsel of a technology firm here in town as well, and I was on the phone negotiating a contract the other day with somebody who was in Mumbai, in India. Incredible, and she was just going to get the contract blessed by an attorney in the United States, but the negotiation was done from India. And technology companies are reinventing the economy itself. Amid all this, we are going to have to make some choices. I think about three particular forks in the road. Our spirit, will we choose optimism or pessimism as we face these waves of change? Our hearts, will they be open or will they be closed? And our minds, will we be creative or will we just default to the static and to old, stale ways of thinking? We have seen the choice that they're making in Washington today, and it looks like this. On our spirit, they're choosing pessimism, an attitude of fear and of loathing toward these changes, a belief that the future will be worse than the past, so we have to grasp for the future. On our hearts, they're choosing to close them. They're doubling down on the familiar, on stereotypes that belong in the rearview mirror, and they're even proposing to close our borders. And on our minds, they are choosing a stagnant form of old school thinking, same old, same old. That's what gets you to preferring oil and gas rather than renewable energy, and it's what gets you to an infrastructure bill that, at least in its first draft, depended totally on contracts going to crony friends. But there is another path from those forks in the road, and you see it here in Charlottesville. When it comes to our spirit, we are casting our lot with optimism rather than pessimism. We believe in the power of the future and in trusting one another to get there. We have an upbeat culture, and I think that means we have an upbeat economy. We believe in hurling yourself into an endeavor, whether it's the nonprofit you're founding, the song you're writing, the garden you're putting together, the little brother or sister you're mentoring, the biotech company you're launching, or, yes, the letter you're writing to your mayor. And that is why we have 50 biotech companies here and 700 nonprofits and the world's greatest research university, with all apologies to anybody who might have graduated from somewhere else. When it comes to our hearts, we believe in opening rather than closing them. Our slogan is a world-class city, and we mean that. We believe the fact that we have a major office at the International Rescue Committee, which has brought hundreds of political refugees into our city who are living here, makes us stronger, not more vulnerable. We love the fact that UVA We love the fact that UVA embraces professors and students from around the world. We believe that if you have a different opinion or a different experience or a different creed, it means we should talk and we should listen and we should learn from one another. And this goes back to our history here in Central Virginia, to James Madison and to Thomas Jefferson's ideas of religious freedom and freedom of expression. And when it comes to our minds, we believe in creativity rather than stale old thinking. That means that there is a harmony, and we are intentionally pursuing it, between the creativity of our culture and the creativity of our economy. It means that we are home, proudly, to new firms figuring out how to make renewables work, companies like Apex Clean Energy and SunTribe. It means we're home to new biotech companies like Contraline, Indoor Biotech, Chemoshare, and to online education companies like Scitent and Archimedics. And it means we have incubators and supportive outfits like the Charlottesville Business Innovation Council, the iLab, the Charlottesville Angel Network, the Open Sciences, Center for Open Science. And it's why we voted last year on Charlottesville City Council to create a new open data policy. And we did implement a tax cut to extend to 7 years the 50% reduction you get if you're qualified in your business taxes if you're a qualified technology company. When you put all those things together, you get success. We have the lowest unemployment of any city in Virginia. We created more jobs this last year than ever before. We are AAA bond rated, very proudly so. Entrepreneur Magazine named us the #4 city in the country for entrepreneurs. Expedia Magazine named us the #1 place to visit in the United States. The New York Post even, chiming in, declared us #3 of the nation's 15 best places to live. Travelocity put us #1 in top small cities for foodies, and Healthline named us one of the healthiest small towns in the U.S. Because we are in such demand, our assessments went up dramatically last year, which did not make the owners of those property happy, but they did know that they're benefiting from a rising tide in the city. And all this allowed to increase our budget and really try to help everybody, which in turn allowed us to plow $2 million of extra cash into our public schools, increase our investments in public safety and our park system, increase our help to many nonprofits working on poverty and public health and the arts, expand our commitment to infrastructure from the new West Main Street Corridor project to expanded parking to the new Belmont Bridge, redouble our efforts at racial reconciliation and opportunity creation, and double our investment in affordable housing. This is all, thank you. And this is all why I was so proud several weeks ago to stand at a press conference with civic, university, and faith leaders, including my friend Khizr Khan, to declare Charlottesville capital of the resistance and to say with one voice that our strength in this community and in this economy comes from our optimism, comes from our open hearts, and comes from our embrace of creativity, not their opposites like we're seeing in Washington. And that is why I am so deeply proud to support TomTom in declaring that Charlottesville is America's founding city, literally, because we have banners all over the downtown mall supporting that. And in fact, I have a proclamation right here, right now, which I'll show to you. This is a mayoral proclamation stating, "Now therefore, I, Michael Signer, Mayor of the City of Charlottesville, Virginia, do hereby declare my appreciation for TomTom's declaration that Charlottesville is, quote, America's founding city, and my resolve for us to be ever known thus." And as the mayor of America's founding city, I want to thank you for forging the connections, for brainstorming the projects, for launching the startups, for making the sparks fly, for coming up with your visions, and for shedding so much amazing light here right now in the days to come. Thank you so much.